Welcome to the Mind Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, Playoff Edition. I am Evan.
I'm John.
And it's our basketball podcast, where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from the previous playoff games from the previous day. Yes, this is here. We are here. It is the playoffs. Playoffs start in a few hours now. Got to get excited. It's got to be big ones. Saw the intro, it's gotta feel different. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This is what we're here for. This is what us fans are here for. This is what those players are playing for. All for the ultimate goal of the NBA championship. So we gotta make this special. That's all it is. Playoff edition. And for this playoff edition, we'll be doing our predictions. Playoff predictions. John, how should we do this? I mean, we could go first round for me, your first round, then second round, second round, third round. You want to do it like that?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Oh, this is going to be good. All right, I'll start off. So we're just going to go through all the playoff rounds and predict the future rounds as well, ultimately leading up to who we think is going to be NBA champions of this year. So I will start it off. Which conference should I start off with? Let's go. What the hell is going on? There was always terrible. All right. I'll start off with the Western Conference first.
Yes.
With the play-in game out of the way, that means the Grizzlies, with their upset victory over the Golden State Warriors, will battle the Utah Jazz in the first round. Grizzlies were my surprise team, and surprise, they made it. They fought hard to get here. I mean, they've done a great job. Taylor Jenkins has done a great job with this roster. I mean, John Morant is proving once again that he is a leader at such a young age. Dylan Brooks stepped up big time for them, especially in those playing games. Mm-hmm. And he's been great for them all year. Jaren Jackson Jr. is back. Jonas Valanciunas has been a key contribution for this team all throughout the year. Yeah. Key pieces, Desmond Bane and Xavier Tillman. And this was a really good team. Just this Utah Jazz team, they just got a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
A huge chip on their shoulder. I feel that and Donovan Mitchell, I assume that he's going to be back for the first playoff game. Mm-hmm. And the Jazz, they've been winning without him as well. They've been holding it down without him. And that shows you the talent they have. Jordan Clarkson, runaway sixth man of the year for me. Quinn Snyder, coach of the year candidate. Rudy Gobert, arguably defensive player of the year. I mean, this team is just built. Joe Ingles. I mean, Royce O'Neal, Derek Favors. I mean, this team is just, they can win in so many ways too.
Yeah.
They have so much talent. They have a great system. With that, I just think that should be it should be the Jazz series to win. So that's why I got the Jazz in 5.
Yeah. Let's be honest, man. The run that the Jazz went on this season was nothing but legendary, in my opinion. To go from the situation that they were in which they were just like, they were obviously always a playoff team, but they was always in the middle. Yeah. And then they nearly pull up an upset and then they blew a 3-1 lead. But
let's hope that doesn't happen this year.
Yeah, let's hope and pray that don't happen. But then they got it together. But yet, what we always talk about, they have everything that a team will want in today's game: offense, defense, personnel, everything, shooting, scoring, playmaking, defense. They just have everything. And the thing is, they all know how to make it click all together. You know what I mean? You talk about Quinn Snyder, who's a really great coach. You talk about Donovan Mitchell being their star. You talk about quality scorers. Again, just like what you alluded to, Jordan Clarkson,
Bogdanovich, I also forgot to mention.
Yeah, Bogdanovich, Royce O'Neal,
Mike Conley.
Mike Conley, man. How did I forget about Mike Conley for a second? And then you got a possible defensive player of the year and Rudy Gobert. This team is just really good from top to bottom in terms of knowing their role and how to get it done and how to execute and how to pursue. And just like what you said, this is their series to take. I got the Jazz.
Jazz in what? How many games?
This Memphis team is dog heart, so I can't even say that it will be a sweep. But I say I say 5 or 6 games.
5 or 6 games. All right. Hope for entertaining series though.
Yes.
See where we can get. The Grizzlies seem to make it entertaining when they need to. They seem to always have the effort and the intensity. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
On to the second seed. Well, you would think when you have a high seed that it's easier in that first round, right? You would think that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the Phoenix Suns, the way they've been playing, they kind of deserve it. They are my dark horse to win the NBA championship. Doesn't mean that they are my favorite. Doesn't mean that they are my pick. But dark horse, if all things go crazy, go awry. Their year. Monty Williams has done a fantastic job with this unit. Coach of the Year candidate too. Devin Booker, superstar. Come on, his team goes as far as he takes them.
Yeah.
You know, Mikal Bridges, who has been big time for them, stepping up this year for them. You know, Dario Saric, Jay Crowder. You know, and of course, like I can't mention all those names without talking about their big offseason pickup in Chris Paul. I already said that the MVP award went to what it actually meant to. It will be Chris Paul. I mean, just immediate impact on this team.
Yeah.
You know, but they got a lot of young guys on their team, John. A lot of guys that have never been to the playoffs. And, you know, they're high seed, so you think that wouldn't be as big of a problem. But tell those young guys in the locker room, yeah, you finally got to the playoffs. First time in the playoffs, you're a second seed. You had a amazing, tremendous year. Yep. How about face the defending champions? How about face LeBron? Think you can do that?
How about facing AD too, along with Bron?
Yeah, AD. Yep. I think just it's not easy. It's not easy whatsoever for the Suns team. Speaking of this Lakers team, they are really only here because of injuries.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to say. Because we know what those two guys can do. We've seen it. Just like 6 months ago. We've seen it.
Hey, and we saw how you should never doubt Bron just a couple of nights ago.
Yep. Blinded. Couldn't see. We're talking about blinded, like
I was looking at the third rim.
You're like, come on, like a pirate could like put an eye patch on, and he made it over Curry. And with that being said, never doubt Bron. I'm sorry, CP3. I'm sorry, Suns. I'm gonna have to go with the Lakers in 6.
Well, you just alluded to some great points, but I think the most important point that you got to that could really hurt the Suns is the fact that when you look at their roster top to bottom is young talents that never touched the playoffs before. I know for a fact that obviously CP3, of course, but outside of CP3, I think the only person to be there was Cameron Payne and Jay Crowder. Cameron Payne and Jay Crowder. Those are the only ones who I could pinpoint who I knew had been in some deep playoff action. And Cameron Payne didn't get much valuable time when he was in the playoff situation. So
Jay Crowder, however, just went to the finals.
Yeah, Jay Crowder just went to the finals and stuff, and I respect that. But
Saric went to the playoffs as well. With the Sixers.
Yeah, with the Sixers. Saric too. So he has something, and he's a really good player. So, but what a challenge in the first round. This is their biggest test yet to show. Are they truly and honestly that deep playoff team as they always wanted to be? But yet, just like we said, it's the defending champions. And even if they was defending champions, is defending Braun. Braun. And then you got to talk about AD, which doesn't make it any better. So, just like what you said, I got the Lakers, but I got it instead of 6, I'm going to say 7 games.
So that means it could go either way. What you predicting?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like the Suns can match up with them. They match up with them pretty well. They're a well-balanced team, but the Lakers, they're a great defensive team, one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
They're good, fast-paced, and they're good three-point shooting.
Yeah.
And I feel even though the Suns are all of that, even maybe a little bit less on the defensive side, them is going to end up hurting the Suns in this series.
Yeah.
So, the Lakers. In their quest to become the best team to win a championship, or the lowest seeding team to win a championship.
Yeah.
All right. Going on to the 3 and the 6 matchup. This is an interesting one. The Denver Nuggets and the Portland Trail Blazers. This is a very, very interesting one. Which I've been thinking about a lot, and I've been going back and forth in my head. I'm gonna cut to the chase. Jokic is an MVP for me. He's been consistently in the MVP conversation.
Yeah.
He hasn't missed games. If he wasn't on this team right now, the Nuggets would probably not be in the playoffs, in my opinion. He is that impactful to this team. He's that meaningful to this team. He's just a monster. I mean, he can do it all. He can shoot, dribble. Like, he's slow and athletic, but yet he's quick at the same time. Like, it's hard to say.
Yeah, it's all about smarts and IQ.
Yes. He can post up. It's a great post up. He can score inside. Maybe be flailing his arms too much, but and of course, his best attribute. He's one of the best passers I've ever seen. And not just from a big man. I'm talking about anyone. He's one of the best passing players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, he's just that great. And he's also clutch, and they give him the ball down the stretch. Obviously, I know that not having Jamal Murray in this series is going to hurt. But look at what they've been doing without Jamal Murray. They've been playing great without Jamal Murray. And so I understand the Trailblazers have Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. And C.J. McCollum can get really hot and start torching people.
Yeah.
Same as Dame. It's ridiculously hot. And they also got Melo and they got Nurkic, and they have a great team. But the Nuggets also have a great supporting cast. They have Monty Morris, Paul Millsap. They got Michael Porter Jr. has having a great year this year. He might be the X factor in this series. Mm-hmm. And above all else, the Trailblazers play no defense. Mm-hmm. Their defense is terrible. And so with all of that in mind, I got the Nuggets in 7.
Yeah. Well, there's one player you didn't mention that's on the Nuggets that I feel like has to come up big. And that is Aaron Gordon.
Who?
Aaron Gordon.
Oh, Aaron Gordon. Yeah, I'm bugging. I didn't think about Aaron Gordon. Yeah, he does need to come up big. I mean, he's a key contribution to this team.
Yeah, there's a reason why they got him.
Yeah, that's true.
But you said some great points about the Nuggets. And one thing I gotta allude to with both of these teams is that, but most importantly, the young Nuggets, is that despite their, well, on the Nuggets side, despite their youthfulness and stuff like that, these teams have been in some memorable deep playoff runs in battles.
Yes.
And that attests a lot of greatness to the Nuggets as a team, because for the fact that you talk about Jokic, right? Jokic is only like 25, 26. And the fact that he's had enough experience at this young, and let's be honest, that is young, regardless of whether you like to look at it or not. This experience and this whole team being together for so long is crazy. But also at the same time, I just can't look at the Blazers and count them out, because they had to go through a lot of adversity last season just to get to the situation, and they had to go through a lot of adversity this year to go through it. They pick up Norman Powell. We're going to see how he fits in with them and stuff like that. And
in the postseason.
And how he fits in the postseason. But as much as I respect Jokic and that and he is this year's MVP, because, well, I'm gonna keep that to myself, but I can't go against Dame Dollar. I just it's hard to go against, and especially it's hard to go against that backcourt in Portland, because they've been in terms of their history, like, you know, they've been doubted a lot. There's been times where they should have never made the playoffs, and they made the playoffs because of those two. And I didn't doubt them. I doubted them then. They made me regret it, and I can't doubt them now. And they're my dog.
They're gonna make you regret it again.
Yeah, I guess, but they're my dog horse, so I'm riding with them. I got the Blazers, but in 7 games. But their defense will kill them. Their defense will kill them. I trust and believe that. I'll say that right now. Their defense will kill them.
Interesting take. Very, very interesting. First one that we disagree on.
Yeah.
Can't count the MVP. Well, actually, that's my MVP. Other people have other people. Another person is MVP. The other person is right now not in the playoffs. So,
yeah.
With all due respect. And lastly, in the Western Conference in the first round, the 4th and the 5th seed, and the rematch of last year's heated first round battle between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. This should be an exciting series, I expect, as last year's was exciting. The Mavericks have really stepped up the game in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they kind of have turned their defenses to bend or don't break, and the way that Luka has been playing, I mean, Luka is Luka.
Yeah.
And Tim Hardaway and Porzingis is healthy, because that's all my concern is with Porzingis. As long as he's healthy, they really have a legitimate chance, I believe. He just has to be healthy. Yeah. You know, and their offense is one of the best in the league. Mavericks is. But I can't go against this Clippers team, you know? It feels different this year. It feels different.
Hell yeah.
You know, they got that guy that's been heavily criticized in the past year. Paul George. You know, he's gonna have to prove himself in this playoff run, because that's what everybody's been waiting for. That's what everybody been clowning him on. Playoff P, pandemic P, you know, scrutinizing him. And he's gonna need to ball out. I think he will. Yeah. And not only that, they have Kawhi Leonard, one of the best players the past decade, one of the best two-way players of all time. They give him the ball down the stretch, and he's clutching you, and he's big time in the playoffs. I know there's a few games that he had in the Denver Nuggets series where he wasn't, but for the most part, that's the only scratch on his record.
Yeah.
You know, they also have playoff Rondo, and we know what Rondo can do in the playoffs. That half-court setting fits him so perfectly. He really sets out on his IQ. It really shows.
Yeah.
It really shows how great a passer he is, how great of a playmaker, and how he set up the offense. It also shows you how good of a defensive player he is.
Yeah, man.
You know?
It's crazy how you brought him up, because I really forgot that Rondo was on the team for a second.
Come on, man. But I guess I didn't forget Aaron Gordon was on the team. I just forgot to mention. But yeah.
No disrespect to Aaron Gordon, he's not Rajon Rondo when it comes to the postseason.
When it comes to I mean, Aaron Gordon barely been in the postseason.
Exactly. So.
But yeah, and Marcus Morris, who can really step up and get some big buckets for them.
Yeah.
Can really go on the scoring outlet for them. Luka Kennard's a good shooter. Terrence Mann, who stepped up big time for them this year. They're gonna need to step up. These role players need to step up, and they're a great two-way team. And that's why I'm picking the Clippers in 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like what you said, the Mavericks, their potent offense is amazing. They had a struggling first half of the season and picked it up quickly in the second half and shocked the hell out of me because they just surpassed certain teams that I did not expect. But yeah, they're great. Their defense is a breakdown bend, but they're not the greatest defensive team, and they're going against
not by a long shot.
Exactly. And I feel like the X factor, of course, when it comes to their team is Porzingis.
Yeah.
Because, like, Luka's going to be Luka. And Porzingis did well against them last year in the postseason, but last year is last year. This is a new, different kind of timing.
Yep.
And even though these teams have had certain kind of battles in the regular or blowouts in the regular season, they're way totally different in the postseason now. And just like what you alluded to, PG has a chip on his shoulder now. He's been playing great this season. You talk about Kawhi Leonard, he's going to do him too. Playoff Rondo, it went from one team in the Staples Center to the basement, to the ugly sister, to try to make it more pretty, to make her more pretty. And you talk about Marcus Morris, you talk about Luke Kennard, and you talk about DeMarcus Cousins. Let's talk about DeMarcus Cousins and how valuable he could potentially be for this team. Fitting more into that role that he has since like going long term with the team. Like, the Clippers, it looks like their mindset is focused in on what we should have seen last season. And there's no kind of like, struggles or like, questioning about their feeding and culture and stuff in a way. So just like you, I got the Clippers with this one, and I got them, and I can't disrespect this Mavericks team, so I got them the same as you, 6 games.
Yep. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Please, Clippers, please. Please. Don't. Just don't. That's what I'm scared. Just don't.
PG, don't repeat what happened last season. Please don't repeat what happened last season.
All right, let's move into the Eastern Conference. First, starting off the number 1 seed in the AFC, the Philadelphia 76ers and the Washington Wizards after their big win in the play-in against the Indiana Pacers. All due respect to Washington, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Roy Hachimura, Robert Lopez, Daniel Gafford, who's been great for them this year.
Yeah.
With the injury of Thomas Bryant. Daniel, you gotta have a tough matchup with that man down there in the middle, Joel Embiid. If he didn't get hurt, he would have been my MVP.
Yeah.
But he got hurt and missed so many games for me to say that he was the MVP for me.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a tough matchup. And you have to deal with Embiid. And then while dealing with Embiid, you still got to deal with Tobias Harris, who I think this is his year to step up in the playoffs. He's kind of been struggling in the past 2 playoffs, for the exception of the last game against the Celtics last year, the bubble. Ben Simmons, he's going to see how he plays, if he's going to be aggressive or not. Also they got shooters all around, Danny Green, Seth Curry. Korkmaz has been playing great for them.
Yeah.
And they should Shake Milton, Tay Stiles was a great defender. They got a lot of pieces. They should not lose in the first round to the Wizards, with all the respect to the Wizards. So yeah, I got the Sixers in 5.
Yeah, man. I gotta agree with you. Doc Rivers came in, Daryl Morey came in, changed up this whole team, made them be the way that they're supposed to be. Doc Rivers, again, is a player coach, and he has had Joel Embiid, who obviously, just like what you allude to, if he did not get hurt, he was my MVP until he got hurt. And, the X factor has to be, of course, Ben Simmons. Will he be aggressive? Because he has had certain games in the past, in the postseason, that is like, I know he's not no scorer, but some of the stat lines is kind of crazy in scoring category. But yeah, but shooters all around. Tobias Harris is playing way better than he was the past season. Like,
Yes.
Danny Green, he's gonna make a highly resurgence since that final situation. Like, and Dwight Howard, Shake Milton, all these guys, I feel like these guys are all connected. And there's no disrespect to Bradley Beal or Westbrook, but number one, you can't guard a parked car. This is the playoffs in which things are going to probably be more slowed down, and your young guys could hurt you. Your young guys could hurt you because they haven't been in any playoff situation. So, just like what you said, I got the Sixers.
Yeah, but I would love to see a great performance from this Wizards team, specifically from Russ and Riley Beal. I really do hope they show up. It can't be an easy one for the Sixers, but they should win. All right, going to the second seed and with the possible championship favorites, the Brooklyn Nets going up against number 7 seed Boston Celtics, beating the Wizards in the play-in game to get the 7th seed. And Boston has been on an up and down roller coaster this year. I feel like they should be way better than they are. They should be on higher seeding than they are. But here we are. Unfortunately, late in the season, Jaylen Brown got hurt. That's going to be a key contribution that they're going to miss. But even if he was playing, I don't think he can have a real change in this outcome. Brooklyn Nets seem to be that they're going to be healthy starting this playoffs.
Yeah.
Means James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. I don't see anybody stopping James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Unless the Miami Heat, but they're not healthy because Rigo's hurt the rest of the season. So.
The thing that's questionable when it comes to the Nets is obviously their defense. Their defense is not that great. It's good enough, not that great. But outside of that, I don't see a weakened flaw or anything in this team, and that's mainly because of those 3 names that you just gave up. Like,
I didn't even have to mention the rest of the team. Exactly. And the rest of the team is great. And I didn't have to mention the rest of the team.
Exactly. And do I have to mention who's not playing? Spencer Dinwiddie?
It's ridiculous. Celtics has been inconsistent all year. They've shown up in certain moments and shown up and it didn't show up in other moments. I believe in Tatum. Kemba Walker needs to stop being if he needs to be pushing and aggressive, because when he's aggressive, that's their best chance to win.
Yeah.
Role players, Robert Williams gonna need to step up. Mark Smart definitely gonna need to step up. I mean, he's going up against Harden or Kyrie, depending on who they match him up with.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see that happening. I got the Nets in 5.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to disrespect the Celtics team in terms of. I mean, and I can understand. I can understand what you're saying, and I respect and I agree.
It's the Brooklyn Nets.
But yeah, it's the Brooklyn Nets, yes. But the Celtics know how they're supposed to be in the postseason. They've been through it so many times. It's their freaking history. Let's just be honest. Like, we don't see a lack of effort from the Celtics in a postseason situation. No matter if they got out in the first round, in any round. Let's just be honest. So
I kind of saw that from the Heat conference finals last year, to be honest, in the bubble.
Yeah, I like an effort from them.
It seemed like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
Well, yeah, because Tatum did have that situation in which he waited until last moment to score and stuff.
No, that's not like Tatum. Tatum was just had a bad game.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the team in general.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, but
I see what you're saying. Yes, this is the Boston Celtics. This is one of the greatest franchises in NBA history.
Yeah, like lack of effort in the postseason is a guaranteed sin. No. It's a no. But yeah, the Nets in 4.
Nets in 4. I gave the Celtics. I tried to give them that 1. I tried to sneak it in that 1. But you got Nets in 4.
Yeah, even if they put in the greatest effort, nah.
Yeah, Nets in 4. Well, let's move on to the big rematch from last year's bubble. in which MVP of last year and the number 1 seeded Bucks took on this underdog dogs of the Miami Heat and just shocked everybody except for themselves.
Exactly.
And they beat the Bucks in 5. That Bucks team. This is a new year though. Bucks are a new team. The Bucks have Jrue Holiday. Giannis is still the reigning MVP though. Yeah. And the Heat, they've been in a little bit of struggle. I mean, injuries, COVID, a whole bunch of other things. Some things out of their control, some things within their control, and they just kind of mess up. So this is a different team for both teams. So this should be a really interesting matchup. See how it goes. It's a big rematch. You know the Bucks want to prove that they are not the same team. I am looking at Mike Budenholzer this entire postseason run for them. Mm-hmm. They cannot lose to this. Definitely can't lose to the same team doing the same strategy for 2 years straight. That's sure. Can't lose the same strategy for 3 years straight. Everybody wanted to look at Giannis, and then let me put me full screen. Everybody wanted to look into Giannis for the past 2 years because of how Giannis was playing. Because of Giannis can't shoot. Giannis doesn't have so many dribbles. Giannis doesn't have so many skill moves and all that. And to a point, I can understand that. But now the Bucks signed him to a max year. They have 5 years, you know? So they clearly believe in him. And they know his strengths and his weaknesses. So if they lose to the same strategy, knowing his strengths and weaknesses, who is that fault? Is that a fault on Giannis? No, it's not a fault on Giannis. It's a fault on coaching. Because you know your best player's strengths and weaknesses. What do? You work around his weaknesses to show his strengths. You try to hide and cover those weaknesses. Or stuff that he can do. Or stuff that teams can have an advantage on, like a boxing one. Like how when putting their best defender on him and then how everybody just pays attention to him when he goes and drives in the paint. Whether that's setting up a charge, poking the ball, making a tough shot, or forcing a turnover on a bad pass.
Yeah.
That's coaching. So I'm looking at him. If I see Giannis carrying that ball up the court, that is not Giannis's fault. That is on coaching. He can do it sometimes, but I want to see Giannis more on the perimeter. Not shooting perimeter. Maybe just sitting there. Maybe setting screens. Maybe cutting to the basket. Maybe playing the post.
Yeah.
You know? Have Holiday is there for a reason. I want to see Jrue Holiday utilized to the best of his ability. They got him there. They signed him to a big money contract, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to see on the offensive side for the Bucks. I want to see that. And this Heat team is, you know, it's really hard to go against them. I mean, they have that man, Jimmy Butler. They have this culture. They have Pat Riley. They have Eric Spoelstra, who's really an amazing coach. They have the Dragon Warren Dragons. They have Bam Adebayo, who I believe, and he was snubbed, goddammit, for those defensive player of the nominee.
Yeah.
I believe he should have been, well, actually, it's tough, but he probably should have been in those top 3 nominated.
Yeah.
And they have this underdog mentality. They have a great defense. They have that heart.
Yeah.
But I really do believe this is a new Bucks team. I really do believe in Jrue Holiday. I also think that Mike Budenholzer is not that dumb to lose to the same strategy 3 times in a row. Because Mike Budenholzer is a 2-time coach of the year, and he is respectable of a coach. Yeah. So, that being said, I got the Bucks in 6. I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, you took out most of the points away from me, so yeah. So there you go. Everything I'm gonna say that, you good. You good. Look it, bro. You got it. So
you got the same way, Bucks in 6?
Yeah, I got the same way, Bucks in 6, and I'll tell you why. Just like what you alluded to in one of your points. Jrue Holiday. You got Jrue Holiday for a reason. There's a reason why you brought him in. You signed Giannis to this big contract. There's a reason why you have faith and belief as your franchise player. He will take you to the promised land. Make him play more into the post. keep Drew Holiday in the perimeter, of course. Budenholzer, you better make that adjustment and learn to work around. And I see them winning. That's it.
I agree. I agree. I love Giannis and I like this Bucks team. I really hope they don't lose to the same strategy. Really. Also love Jimmy though. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Butler, and I know the mentality he's on. I know he's ready.
Yeah, and I respect this Heat team, of course. I would never go against them or doubt them.
Of course, I respect this Heat team big time. I mean, it was my hot take. It's
exactly.
to beat the Brooklyn Nets. So.
Exactly. Yes, but it's just like do the things that are in and out of control. They're not. They're of course they're the Heat team, but they're just not flowing the same way as I felt like they were when they were in that mode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's not going to bother them, of course. They're still going to feel like they're in that mode regardless, but I don't feel like they got that same kind of flow and that same kind of feel as they did last year, where you know what? I can't even say that because they're going to still find a way to click regardless, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's not the same as it was for last year for them.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this series. I really am. I'm looking forward to how both teams play.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the coaching matchups. Looking forward to the players. Jimmy, Giannis, Middleton, Holiday, Bam, Tyler Hero. We'll see what he can do second time in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Duncan Robinson, Jordan Dragic. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Dante. Also Bobby Portis too and PJ Tucker. I'm ready. Should be a fun and exciting series. However, last and certainly not least, the 4 and the 5 matchup in the Eastern Conference.
Show the hat.
Between yours truly, the New York Knicks, back in the playoffs. 8 years. It's been 8 years. It's been a long 8 years. Going up against, however, Atlanta Hawks team that just turned their season around with Nate McMillan at the helm. Now, me and you have talked about this series a lot, and I'm gonna just go out in the front and say that I got the Knicks in 6. As a Knicks fan, I would like them in 4, but
that's not possible.
Yes, and I'm trying to be as unbiased as I possibly can.
Yeah.
But we got to look at the facts here. Let me talk about why I got the Knicks in 6.
Thank you.
This is a team that Tom Thibodeau came in and they have overachieved.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to be in this situation. They weren't supposed to be in the playoffs at all, to be honest with you. Yet they're here, and they're top seed. They're the 4th seed. They have a home court. The Garden is pumping. The fans are going to be back in the arena. They're going to be soaking it up. That's just from not looking at the players. Now let's talk about the players and this team itself. Tom Thibodeau. He has led this team there. He's a Coach of the Year candidate, and they're one of the best defensive team, if not the best defensive team in this league. I'm talking about they got the final score back to how it was in the 80s. Final score 95 to 89. We're back to the 90s. It's low scoring when you play the Knicks. You expect that, but it's gritty, but it's tough. It's a great defensive team. They have heart. They have soul. Now let's get into the players. Julius Randle, all NBA for me. He's an all-star this year. 24, 10, and 6. He's been a beast for the Knicks when they needed him. They've given him the ball in the clutch. They relied on him. He can make plays, some scoring and passing. I mean, what else can you say about Julius Randle? I mean, R.J. Barrett, who's been struggling towards the tail end of the regular season, but a vast improvement compared to last season, what he's doing. He stepped up his three-point shooting. He stepped up his decision-making. He's become a better team defender. What else can you say about that man? Derrick Rose, the addition of Derrick Rose has been so key. 6th Man of the Year candidate. It's been big time for them. He stepped up when he needed to for them. He's been a great offensive scorer for them. He's been shooting threes and making them as well. when he needed to. All the credit goes to the Derrick Rose, and every basketball fan knows what Derrick Rose has been through. Exactly. So see the way that he's been playing has been inspirational. It's been great to see. Yeah. And you talk about Nerlens Noel. He's one of the best shot blockers in the league. You talk about Quickly, who's been a surprising rookie coming out of nowhere, been balling out. Yeah. Talk about Taj Gibson. He's going to be a veteran presence for this team, along with Derrick Rose. Reggie Bullock, 3-point shooter. Alec Burks step up for them when he needs to.
Kevin Knox? I'm sorry.
I feel like in all that, yeah, I got the Knicks in 6. But however, nobody should take this Hawks team lightly. Just look at what they have done this year, and you can piggyback of what I'm saying. Yeah. Like I said, this turnaround by Nick McMillan has been amazing. They have had an amazing story, just like the Knicks this year. Lloyd Pierce said it wasn't working. They were struggling. But it's getting going. Nick McMillan is almost instant. He comes in, and they're on an 8-game winning streak.
Coach Nate. Yep, Coach Nate.
It was just that quick. That's what happens when you have a playoff caliber coach. Mm-hmm. Trae Young, I feel like he was an all-star stump this year. He was playing great basketball. Mm-hmm. He's great at drawing fouls. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's their best player. He's their leader. This team can get hot. This team has 3-point shooters. Clint Capella has been amazing. If the Knicks lose this series, which they can easily lose this series, I really do feel like the Hawks can win this series. This is not, oh yeah, Knicks, this is easy. No. Someone said the Hawks win this series, and it's because that they can get hot, and the Knicks, when other teams get hot, and when their defenses are going for them, they get cold on offense because they rely so much on their defense. Exactly. Mm-hmm. That can happen because they have Bogdanovich. They have Gallinari. They have Lou Williams. Yeah. These are scorers. Along with Trae Young. John Collins, who's been stepping up big time for them. Double-double. Who's been good on the defensive side of the ball as well. Can hit threes as well. And of course, Clint Capella and the Knicks sometimes struggle late game, grabbing defensive rebounds. As a Knicks fan, it really irks me. It's like they can't grab defensive rebounds late game situations sometimes. And Clint Capella is going to destroy them on the boards. Whether they win or lose, he's still going to destroy them on the boards. Yeah. Along with him being a great defender. Yeah. So, if you make your prediction and you say you got the Hawks win this series, that would not surprise
me. Just like what you said, we talked about this a lot of times. And I've been on and off the record, right? I've been hopping around between these two. Mm-hmm. Obviously, offensively, the Hawks got it. Defensively, the Knicks got it.
Yes.
I do feel like what will kill the Knicks is what you just said, late game situations. They rely so heavily on their defense. It's just their offense, unless if Randall got it going or Alex Burke got it going, their offense basically stagnates. Yes. And it gets tough. Mm-hmm. On the Hawks, on the other hand, as good as they are offensively, defensively, they're not the best. Well, I don't know if they're even good at all, to be honest.
Well, listen, but the Clint Capella's there. Yeah. I also believe they're getting DeAndre Hunter.
Hunter, yes.
DeAndre Hunter. Yeah. He's getting back, and he's a good defender. He's a really good defender.
Yeah. And I feel like even though John Collins isn't that big of a defensive player, of course, I feel like with his athleticism, he could do parts on the defensive end for them. But outside of that, Atlanta, I don't see much defense. But here's my thing. Mm. With their offense, and especially with Trae Young at their home as their young leader,
yes,
it could get hot in an instant with all the shooters and scores that they got. And the Knicks is going to have to combat that. But with everything that's just been saying and everything, I will have to say and it's tough because again it could go either way, but I will have to choose your Knicks taking this series, but in 7. It will be. I feel like it will be a 7th game. It will be a 7th game.
Yeah, this is one of the most interesting series in this playoffs. I really feels like it could go either way. They both have amazing stories for this year. Both have amazing talent.
Yeah.
Both a little bit opposite in terms of the offense and the defense. But yes, the Knicks do eventually fall in this series. It will be because the offense, when the opponent's offense, the Hawks' offense, get on a hot streak, their offense gets cold because they rely so much on their defense.
Yeah.
So yeah, should
but
be.
Hey, there's a reason why I got them in 7 games because I think that's home court. They got home court advantage, right? So game 7 in the Garden, it's like they can't lose. They can't lose. They can't lose in the Garden.
Like I said, looking outside, it was unbiased. If the Hawks do win the series, that would not surprise me one bit. They are that talented. As a Knicks fan, I would cry, but you know, I would understand. That is our first round one. Since all those games are kind of like definite, like all those series are happening, we just don't know the outcome.
Yeah,
that's just our prediction. For these next few rounds, second in the conference finals and the finals, it's gonna be a little more quicker.
Yeah,
it's gonna be quicker since it's just based off our predictions of a first round that's not even finished and it hasn't even started yet as it's recorded. So let's speed things up, Ja. Starting off the Western Conference, I picked the Jazz and I also picked the Clippers, and they will be the second round matchup for me.
It gets tough, doesn't it? It gets tough, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I want to believe the Jazz has such a chip on their shoulder. I want to believe in them, but the Clippers also has a chip on their shoulder too.
Yeah.
All right.
But the Jazz haven't been this deep.
No, they haven't. But the Clippers have. The entire franchise they never have.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
But the Clippers players have. Paul George has been to a conference finals. Kawhi Leonard is a champion. Rondo is a champion.
Yeah.
So Marcus Morris has also been to a conference finals too with the Celtics.
Yeah.
That being said, I got the Clippers 7.
I got the Clippers 7 too, man. They're similar match teams. Probably Utah have a little bit more advantages this season, but they equalize each other so well on both ends of the floor.
Yes, yeah.
But again, Donovan Mitchell, if he's playing, ain't no Kawhi Leonard. There's nobody else who's a PG. So I got the Clippers.
I'm interested in that matchup. As a fan, though, I'm rooting for the Jazz. I'm rooting for the Jazz. I'm rooting for the Jazz.
Yeah.
All right. I got the Nuggets in the other round, and I also got the Lakers. The Lakers, and this will be a rematch of the Western Conference Finals. I got the Lakers in 5 for this one.
And what was it again? The Lakers versus who?
It was the Lakers versus Suns. You picked the Lakers, and it was the Nuggets versus Blazers. You picked the Blazers. So it'll be the first round match.
Well,
rematch.
Lakers.
Lakers in.
Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. Lakers in 5. All right. Western Conference, Eastern Conference, second round. I picked the Sixers. I also picked the Knicks. I got the Sixers in 5.
I got the Sixers. This better be an easy win for them.
Sixers in 5. And if the Hawks win, say right now, I got the Sixers in 5 too. I don't think the Knicks or the Hawks can beat the Sixers team.
Yeah.
As a Knicks fan, let's go Knicks. The next one, I got the Bucks and I got the Nets. Should be a very interesting matchup. However, the Nets are healthy. It's very, very hard to stop this team.
Yeah.
I got the Nets in 6.
Yeah, I got the Nets, and I say it's going to a 6 or 7 game. I know the Bucks have gotten wins against them the regular season, but again, we've seen a lot of teams get wins in the regular season to certain teams and then lose to them in this postseason.
But you also got to remember the Nets weren't fully healthy,
and they weren't fully healthy.
Yes.
So James Harden, point guard, Kyrie shooting guard. Yeah, I got the Nets.
All right, going to the Western Conference. That means the conference finals will be the Battle of LA. I'm really considering changing to Jazz right now, but nonetheless, let's go for your pick first.
Clippers versus Lakers. Dang man, shoot, you hit me with that one. I got this going to a game 7. And never bet against Braun. That's all I gotta say. Never bet against Braun. So you know who my pick is. Never bet against Braun.
I'm gonna change my pick. I have the Jazz at 7. I have Jazz at 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they can pull it off. I really do. I'm not being biased, I swear.
Nah.
I'm talking to the audience. That means the Jazz and the Lakers, and I got the Lakers in 7.
Yeah.
Experience matters. I want the Jazz, so I'm not gonna change that one.
It's so tough.
Because easily, I mean, the Suns can beat the Lakers too.
Yeah.
I will not go. I mean, this is gonna be a wild playoff run. Wow, yeah. Playoffs. Going to the Eastern Conference Finals, that means we'll have the Sixers up against the Brooklyn Nets, 1 and 2. I mean, predictable, I guess. Nets in 6.
You said predictable, Sixers in 6. Let me stop. Yeah, I say this is also a game that could go to 6 to 7 games, and I obviously got the Nets because I would never bet against that 3-headed monster.
Yeah, that means very predictable. Lakers and the Nets in the finals. Yeah, who saw that coming? Yeah,
not me.
Well, actually, with the Lakers, how the Lakers are seeding, it'll kind of be a little bit surprising, but it'll be a little bit surprising, but then at the same time, not surprising if they do make it to the finals as a 7th seed. But nonetheless, the Nets versus the Lakers in the finals, big finals. Who do you have?
I got the Nets taking it in 7.
That's 7.
Hey, I never bet against Braun, and I'm not going to bet against him in this series. But I can't bet again. I can't bet against that 3-headed monster. It's just Braun and AD versus 3.
And none of them stop at AD. I got the Lakers at 7.
I respect that. And there's another thing that's on their side is the fact that the Lakers are champions, been together long enough, they know each other so well. The Nets team, they probably could click well, but they don't know each other like the Lakers know each other. But with that being said, it's championship or bust for this Nets team, so I might as well put my faith in them and go against the Knicks.
Yeah. That should be, if that does happen, that would be a very predictable but entertaining finals. The Nets and the Lakers. I mean, LeBron, AD, Kyrie, Harden. I mean, what else can you expect? That's great. It's great. It's great basketball.
Hey, I'm not mad about any of these playoff situations and stuff. Even though I wanted the Cancun matchup, and I did want to see Russ versus KD. I will admit that. But hey, these matchups are not that bad. I'm kind of happy with seeing them.
Yep. We shall see. Oh, it was MVP. Enjoy these playoffs. It's going to be really fun. I hope we get some unpredictable things. You know, I mean, we already got some unpredictable. The Warriors are out due to the Grizzlies. Surprise. The Lakers are the 7th seed and are going up against the 2nd-seeded Phoenix Suns. I mean, the Hawks and the Knicks are in the first round playoff matchup. You know what I'm saying? Two great stories. it's going to be really entertaining. Enjoy these playoffs. It should be very, very fun. I'm excited. Playoff basketball should start. I don't know when it's going to start, the time of this recording end, but it should start very, very soon. Speaking of very, very soon, let's talk about what is these playoff games later on today. First off, 2:00, ESPN, the Heat and the Bucks. I mean, we predicted the Bucks to win in 7, but who do you have in game 1?
Bucks.
I got the Bucks as well. Next up, ESPN 4:30. The Mavericks going up against the Los Angeles Clippers.
I feel like the Mavericks are going to pull up a game 1 upset. I got the Mavericks with this one.
Interesting, but I got the Clippers for this one. Fast forwarding to the nighttime, 8:00, ABC. The Boston Celtics going to Brooklyn, Barclays Center, to battle the Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn.
And lastly, ESPN 10:30. The Trail Blazers going to Mile High, battle the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to go with the Blazers. All right. Those are our predictions for the playoffs and the finals. All in all, he has the Nets winning the championship. I have the Lakers repeating to win the championship. And who knows what will happen. Maybe those teams won't even make it to the finals. Yeah. It's a possibility. It's the playoffs. That's what we're here for. I mean,
exactly.
That's what we're here for. All right. Any final thoughts, Ja?
I really wish my Cancun matchup would happen, but hey, nah.
Oh, my goodness. Would you stop? Enjoy the playoffs, everyone. Be excited. Be ready. There'll be some unexpected things happen. Anyway, everyone, have fun watching these games later today. Have fun watching first round of the playoffs and so on for the next month leading up to the NBA Finals. It should be very exhilarating. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure you tune into tomorrow's podcast where we recap game 1s of those NBA games as well as predicting the game 1s for Sunday's games. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, give us feedback, support the channel, all that good stuff.
You also tune into our IG and our TikTok down in the description below.
Yes. And once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this is the Mind of Basketball Podcast.
Playoff edition.